All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about something that feels like it's straight out of science fiction. The idea of building software not with lines of complicated code, but just with words. It's this huge revolutionary idea, and honestly, it might be a lot closer than you think.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You have a great idea for a simple little tool, maybe a habit tracker or a custom calculator, something to organize your work. But the second you think about learning to code or paying a developer, the idea just kind of deflates, right? But what if you could just speak it into existence?
And see, that's the heart of the issue, isn't it? For decades, making software has been this specialized skill locked away behind a giant wall of programming languages. It's a barrier that's kept so many brilliant ideas from ever becoming a reality. This barrier, this wall of code, has basically dictated who gets to be a creator in our digital world. But now, a whole new wave of tech is trying to tear that wall down. And we're going to look at one company in particular that's making this mission its entire identity. And that company is Nothing Technology. You might have heard of them. Founded back in 2020 by Carl Pei, they've been making waves with these really slick designs and a Super Bowl vision to make technology more accessible by taking on the giants. They're basically the perfect company to look at for this whole no-code revolution. So what exactly is this big idea they have? Well, it's about a lot more than just making cool-looking phones. It's really about changing the fundamental way we interact with and even create our own digital tools. And just so you know, these guys are serious. Nothing has already pulled in over $1 billion in sales. That proves they're not just some flash in the pan. They have a real spot in the super competitive world of consumer electronics. But here's the kicker. Despite that huge number, they still hold less than 1% of the global smartphone market. Now, that's not a sign of failure. Not at all. It's actually their strategy. They're not trying to beat the giants at their own game. No, they're trying to change the game. And their weapon of choice is AI. And this is it. This is where their big idea comes to life. It's a tool they're calling Essential. The concept is just beautifully simple. It's an AI that you can just talk to. You describe a little mini app you want, and poof, it builds it for you. Zero code needed. Okay, so how does this really work? What does it actually look like to build an app with nothing but your words? Let's get into it. Now, what's really cool here are the examples. We're not talking about building the next TikTok. We're talking about small, super personal, and genuinely useful tools. Think about it, an app that scans your receipts and spits out a weekly PDF. Or one that automatically creates briefing notes for you before a big call. These are the kinds of simple, elegant solutions to everyday problems that most of us would love to have. And this is the so-called process. It looks a lot like normal app development, right? But there's one massive, game-changing difference. Steps 1 and 2, ideation and design, that's all you. That's your creativity. But step 3, implementation, that's where the magic is supposed to happen. Instead of spending weeks writing code, you just talk to an AI. I mean, it sounds absolutely incredible. The idea that anyone, and I mean anyone, can become a developer. But does the reality actually live up to that amazing promise? So let's take a look at what the people who have actually used these tools have to say, because, well, the feedback has been a little complicated. This chart pretty much tells the entire story. Look at ease of use. It gets a respectable 3.5 out of 5. That's a huge win. It means people can jump in and start creating right away. But, and this is a big but, here's where the dream hits a wall. Look at visual fidelity, so how the app actually looks, and prompt adherence, how well the AI follows your instructions. Both are struggling down at a 2 out of 5. And that gap is everything. It means it's easy to start something, but getting it to look and work exactly the way you want it to, that's a whole other story. It leads to more frustration than creation. And this quote from a review just nails the problem perfectly. It says the AI is great for generating boilerplate code. You can think of that like the basic foundation of a house, the concrete slab, the frame. The AI can whip that up in no time, but it really struggles with the creative stuff, the unique design, the custom features, all the things that make the house your house. It's a fantastic starting point, for sure, but it's rarely the finished masterpiece. And you might think, well, maybe this is just for pros then. But even experienced developers are hitting a ceiling. They run into all sorts of limitations when they try to connect these AI-built apps to other services. And when the AI messes up, trying to find and fix that bug can be a total nightmare, sometimes even harder than just coding it right from the start. That whole promise of speed just kind of vanishes into thin air. So, with all these issues, is this whole thing just a gimmick? Is it a fad? Absolutely not.
we have to zoom out from this one example and look at the massive industry trend this represents. This is about the future of how we create everything.
And here is the number that proves it. By 2027, analysts are predicting that a mind-blowing 65% of all app development will use low-code or no-code tools just like these. This is not some little niche experiment. This is quickly becoming the new normal.
What we're really watching happen is the democratization of AI. It's this process of taking this incredibly powerful technology out of the hands of a few experts and putting it into the hands of everyone. Small business owners, teachers, artists, you. Which brings us right to the core tension of this whole thing. The promise is absolutely huge. More creators means more innovation, faster prototyping, and all these custom-built solutions for tiny little problems. But the problems are just as real. These tools still can't really handle huge enterprise-level projects, and those complex integrations are still a major headache. The revolution is here, for sure, but it's very much a work in progress. And that leaves us with this one final, really important question. As AI starts to build more and more of our digital world, who gets to be the architect? For the first time in history, the answer might not just be coders. It could be, well, anyone with a good idea. The tools aren't perfect yet, not by a long shot, but they are rewriting the rules of who gets to build our future. The only real question left is, what will you build?